One wrong turn can cost you your life. We are witnessing life or death moments, where the steering wheel, the slope of the hill, and every millimeter of the road surface can decide everything. A death curve, steep, narrow, and with no room for error. The lead vehicle, nearly 20 meters long, was trying to get around the sharp scythe-like corner. Every time it turned, the rear wheels seemed to slide off the edge of the cliff. Behind, a convoy of cars was waiting, stuck. No one dared to move. No one dared to look away. And there are motorcycles squeezed through the narrow gap, as if playing with the scythe of death. This is no longer traffic. This is a show of steel nerves in the middle of a rugged mountain forest. a road not for the faint-hearted. The nearly 20-meter-long tractor-trailer was stuck in a dead-end position in the middle of the jungle. On one side was a rugged bank. On the other side was a dense green wall with no way back. Each wheel spins slowly, as if on a countdown, for a rollover that only requires a slight misstep. The driver is no longer on a journey. It's a geometrical problem of survival. The corner is too sharp. The body of the car feels like it's about to break itself. The second car appeared, red as fire, trying to penetrate the darkness of the deep forest. The curve ahead was no wider than a palm, but behind it were dozens of tons of heavy steel, covered with tarpaulin, tilted. The front wheels were already in the corner, but the rear wheels still couldn't find their way. The whole bike seemed to be bent by gravity, the road, and the stubbornness of its design.
Oh, sunog lagi saudaraku.
The car was no longer moving, it was struggling. A silent but merciless slope, pulling back with each revolution, draining every last drop of power from the old machine. Black smoke billowed from the engine like a cry for help, but it still tried, still refused to stop. Every turn is a battle between traction and weight. There is no room for weakness on this track. On the desolate slope, no one helped. Only steel, oil, and will. The car, though tired, still refused to give up. That is the courage of those who carry heavy loads through roads that no one wants to set foot on. The second car entered the hill, but from the start, the sound was different. The engine roared. The exhaust pipe puffed out a strangled smoke. The whole stretch of road was filled with white smoke. No driver to be seen. No wheels to be seen. Just a toxic cloud, thick and violent. There was a small explosion, and then fire. Under the car, flames erupted, a sign that no one wanted to see. The car could not go any further. It was forced to retreat, humiliated, exhausted, and in danger. On slopes like these, the strong are not those who try the hardest, but those who understand their limits before it is too late. When one vehicle cannot get over the slope, another must do the impossible. The green tank roared and rushed forward, dragging behind it an exhausted golden giant, collapsed in the middle of the pass. It's no longer a race against gravity. It's now a test of traction, of fragile chains, and of trust. Just one slip. Both of you will fall into the bottomless abyss on the other side of the road. No one is born to climb the hill alone forever. Sometimes, survival depends on the person who goes with you. A U-turn, a steep incline, and an overwhelming load. The car was trying to climb, but the traction was not enough. It stopped halfway up the slope. A few seconds later, gravity took over, and the giant monster began to roll backwards. The brakes failed to catch up, and the rear wheels scraped against the pavement, but there was nothing holding it up anymore. And then the worst happened. The heavy truck tipped over, then crashed to the ground, like a warrior falling after a brutal battle on a steep pass. No sirens, no professional rescuers, just men, a cable, and a determination to leave no one behind. The steel wire is as tight as the life of the whole journey. One wrong pull, the wheel slips, can send everyone plunging into the abyss right next to it. There is no longer a distinction between driver and audience. Everyone is straining to build a machine and keep a part of the trust in the dangerous mountains and forests. This is not just a rescue, it's a testament to the spirit. Where we fall, there we rise together.